The first thing we'll look at is how to use arithmetic operators to calculate measures and also to calculate columns in Power Pivot. Then we'll move to the use of iterators like iterative functions and Power Pivot here. So let's check this out. This is where we stopped. I'll go back to Power Pivot and I'm waiting for it to come up. So let's just, while that loads, let's look at. Now the first thing we are going to be looking at here, we are told to give 10% discounts to our customers for every one of them that purchase any based on the sales amounts. You just give them 10% discount. So going back to our Power Pivot, we are here. This is our calculation area. We are currently in the order fact table. Then we want to give 10% discount to our customers. So to do it means we are going to multiply this sales amount column we'll multiply it with 10%. So all I have to do now to add a new column is to just double click on this add column. The moment I double click on add column, I've just changed the name. You'll start seeing the cursor is blinking, so I can now change the name. I'll give it discount. So this is discount. Hit enter. The moment I hit enter, you would notice that you now have an equal to sign in the formula bar. So here I will just type in sales amount multiply by, now shift 8 for multiplication, multiply by 10%. Now you can't type in 10% directly like this. It's not going to work. Now let's see what happens if I try to do it this way. If I hit enter, you should get an error. You can see you're seeing the following syntax error occurred during the person invalid token, and it's showing you this percentage symbol. So let's just go back. Okay, so I'll go back. Instead of 10% can be written at 0.1 if I'm not mistaken. 0.1. Then I'll hit enter and we have 10% discount. So this is the discount are given to every of our customer that purchase based on the sales amount, based on how much they spend in purchasing some products from us. For us to calculate the new sales amount that the company will be getting, we have to subtract the discount from the sales amount. To do this, click on this add column, double click on it, then rename it to let's give new sales amount. Okay, leave it this way. Then I would say sales amount itself, sales amount minus the discount. So can you see now that you can also use operators to find measures, to calculate some measures and also calculate new columns in your table? You can see we've made use of asterisk, which represents star, and we are making use of this minus sign for subtraction. So discount, then I'm going to hit enter. We get the new sales amount. Alright, so let's go back and check out the next question. The next one is, assume that the sales amount column is the price. Find the total revenue and the average revenue, the mean and the max revenue. Now, we've been told to assume that the sales amount column is the price. We are assuming in this case. We want to start making use of the iterative functions. So let's go back to our Power Pivot. If I'm to calculate a new column, if I'm assuming that this sales amount is a price and I want to get the revenue, it means I'll have to multiply price by quantity to get revenue. So let's do that now. We are assuming that this sales amount is the price. It is not what we are assuming. So I'll double click on this now and I would say I'll give it revenue. Alright, then I'll hit enter. And how do I want to do that? How do I want to get the revenue? I want to multiply the assumed price, which is the sales amount, with, I want to multiply it with the quantity. Quantity it has to be the exact way it is on the quantity. So we have quantity here and I'll hit enter. You get the revenue, right? Then if I want to find the total revenue, I would come here, select somewhere around the calculation area, then I would say total revenue colon equal to, and I would say sum. What do I want to sum? Sum. I'm saying sum, then I'll open my parenthesis. I want to sum the revenue. So revenue, this is revenue. Then I'm going to close my parenthesis and hit enter. Now get this right. But what if I don't want to calculate this revenue column? I just want to get my total revenue directly without calculating this new column for revenue. All I have to do is just, let me delete this. This is where the iterative function comes in. I'll delete this column now. Delete, yes, delete. I want to get, I've deleted this, so I'm going to, can I delete this? Yeah, delete this too. I want to get the total revenue, average revenue, minimum revenue, and maximum revenue without having to create a new column to represent revenue. Using the iterative function, all I have to do is just select somewhere here in the calculation area, and I'll come here and say total revenue, then colon equal to, so I'm saying using this iterative function sum to find total. Now use sum x. The first argument is the table. What is the table? Where is this thing you want to calculate? What table is it in? We are currently in the order fact table, and what we want to calculate together, multiply together, or get is in the order fact table. So I would say order fact table. So we have the table, comma. The next argument is the expression. What I want to do is to multiply my assumed price, which is the sales amount column, with the quantity together. So I would say sales amount, which is the assumed price in this case, shipped 8 multiplied by what? Quantity. So you can either, since you are currently in the order fact table space, you don't have to select this one, just go with quantity. I think you are not in that order fact table space, we have just chosen the table name that is accompanying the column name. So I'll close my parenthesis. So what this means is they are saying after multiplying the sales amount column with the quantity column together from the order fact table, sum everything up and give me a result. Sum it up and give me a result. Alright, so I'm going to hit my parenthesis. Hit enter, not parenthesis now. And can you see that we have a value? We have a value, which is exactly the same thing we got when we added a new column. Now, I didn't have to add a new column for revenue for me to get this result. With the use of the iterative function, sum x, average x, mean x, max x, we've gotten a result, we've gotten a value without having to create a new column. So I will just format this, add a comma to it, then reduce my decimals. Fine, I'm good. I can also add my, currency symbol to it. Still reducing my decimals because I have it now. Then the next thing we're going to look at is average. We're going to find the average revenue, the minimum revenue, and the maximum revenue. So all I have to do, I don't want to go through the process of typing it again. I'll just copy this formula, copy everything, Ctrl C, then I'll just copy everything. Select another place in this calculation area. Come here and paste that same formula. This time around, I'll just change it from total to average. I'll change from total to average. Change this from sum x to average x. Average x. Can you see that? So you can see we have this. It's still the same argument. So I'll leave it this way, and I'm going to hit enter. Then we have our average revenue. Applying the same formatting to it. Reduce decimals. Then select another. I want to find the minimum and the maximum revenue. Ctrl V to paste down that same formula. I'll change this from total to maximum. Let's start with maximum revenue. Then I'll give these changes from sum x to max x. You can see max x here. Can you see that? Still the same argument. Sales amount multiplied by quantities, the same thing. And I'm going to hit enter to get the maximum revenue. Can you see that? Then applying the same formatting. Applying the same formatting to it. Come here to select for mean. Paste the same formula. Ctrl V to paste it. Change it from total revenue to minimum revenue. Then what else? Change from sum x to mean x. From sum x to mean x. We have this. Then I'm going to hit enter, and I get my value for total revenue, average revenue, minimum revenue, and maximum revenue. Can you see that we got all this without having to create a new column? This is how the iterative functions works. This is how this DAX works very, very, very well. You don't have to create a new column. You will get your result as long as you're using the right function. All right, so that is that on using iterative functions and operators in Power Pivot here in Microsoft Excel. To go back, you can always go back to where, now let's see. So let's come back here. When you come back here, you would notice that, let's scroll down to where the other fact table. Can you see all the measures that we've created so far? Can you see them? Can you see FX, FX, FX? These are all the things we've created. All the measures we've created. Can you see them? Total customer, everything, minimum revenue, maximum revenue, all that we've created can be found here in the, the front or user interface of Microsoft Excel. Very easy and very simple, right? Let's do well to practice. We'll see you in our next video. Do well to like, hit the subscribe button if you're visiting for the first time, then share to those that you know needs to watch this video. See you. Bye.